Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for the week of October 13th to 17 suggest that Tony DiMera will betray Gabby Hernandez, while Thomas DiMera will issue an ultimatum, and Aaron Green will deal with some anxiety. It looks like all arrows are pointing to the fact that Aaron is the father of Sophia Choi, as many Days fans have suspected. Tate Black will find out the news that he's not Tesoro's father and essentially stop Holly Jonas from going to Paris. He'll relay the information at the airport as Holly decides to stay put. However, added teasers reveal that when Tate fills Aaron in on the situation, the college student will get a little anxious. Will Aaron confess to his one-nighter with Sophia? As the weekend hits, Holly and Tate will team up to do something. So is this about Sophia? Meanwhile, Sophia will spill her baby daddy beans to Melinda Trask. Melinda has been with Sophia every step of the way in this scheming journey. So the good news is that Sophia will have Melinda to lean on during this challenging time. Still, considering the harm Sophia caused by causing Holly's dorm fire, sending those photos from Holly's phone, plus lying about the inappropriate relationship she had with Johnny DiMera, can Melinda also help her out of the possible legal predicament she may be in? Days of Our Lives spoilers for the week of October 13th. Note that Johnny and Chanel DiMera will worry. Does their concern center on the status of their adoption of Tesoro? As the days go by, Johnny will touch base with Brady Black and get an update on the teen mom. Is Sophia still missing at this point? Across town, Chad DiMera will clash with Jennifer Horton Devereaux. While Thomas is glad that Chad dumped Kat Green, he won't like the idea of her sticking around town. Thomas will issue an ultimatum to his dad. Either Kat leaves Salem or I do. Thomas has already expressed wanting to live with his grandparents, so Jennifer and Chad may fight over Jen and Jack Devereaux taking the boy to Boston. The grandparents may feel it's the best scenario for Thomas to deal with his feelings without having to see Kat around town. After all, they can't ask Kat to move, especially since her younger siblings are settled in Salem. Chad won't want his son to leave town for many reasons, and it sounds like Jeremy Horton may offer some advice and insight as the boy's new teacher. Across town, Tony will give Gabby some bad news. He'll withdraw the DiMera Enterprises CEO offer to Gabby, much to her disappointment. Instead, he'll hand it over to Theo Carver, much to Abe Carver's shock and dismay. Abe will dig his heels in about Theo working at DiMera. However, the young man will get support regarding this new career path from his stepmom, Paulina Price. Could this conflict cause issues in Abe and Paulina's marriage? Over to Marlena Evans, Belle Black will worry about her mom. Will Marlena have another terrible dream? Meanwhile, Susan Banks will encourage her son, E.J. DiMera, to have some patience. Is this about the hospital renovations, or possibly his relationship with Johnny still being frayed? In related news, E.J. will be confronted by Leo Stark. As one of the top journalists at The Spectator, Leo may be looking for the scoop on the Dr. Tom Horton Free Clinic, but will E.J. reveal anything? Elsewhere, Kat shares some concerns she has with Rafe Hernandez. Kat will sneakily step foot into the lab E.J. is constructing at the hospital and take some snapshots. Will the intel she gathers worry her? Spoilers hint that Alex Kyriakis and Stephanie Johnson will have reason to celebrate. Alex will confront Jeremy at some point next week, so Alex and Stephanie may breathe a sigh of relief if Jeremy promises to stay away from Alex's girlfriend. Still, as the weekend hits, the two will come up with some sort of plan. So Jeremy may continue to be a thorn in Stephanie's side. Finally, Xander Kyriakis apologizes to Sarah Horton Kyriakis. Will his temper get the better of him, or will he tell her the truth about his attack on Philip Kyriakis? Days of Our Lives spoilers suggest the week of October 13th has some must-see moments, so it'll be packed with episodes fans won't want to miss. Marlena checks with Rachel about how her therapy's going, and Rachel worries about Dr. Fuller telling her grandma about their sessions. Marlena reassures Rachel she won't, but the kid goes forward with her rush of honesty, confessing everything she told Thomas about Kat. Chad tells Jen that he won't be seeing Kat anymore, but that doesn't stop her for 1 second from laying into him. She digs the knife in more by telling Chad that Thomas asked to move in with her. Chad finally snaps and tells Jennifer his son isn't going anywhere. Before she can get much more blame in, Marlena shows up with Rachel, who apologizes for what she said to Thomas. Chad graciously accepts it, then sends Rachel upstairs. She knocks on Thomas's door and lets her in to apologize. But he's fine. He got so upset his dad broke up with Kat. Oh, that's good. Now, all you have to do is make sure they stay broken up. Well, okay, Rachel. Thomas is confused, but then Rachel reminds us of all the times she ruined Brady's relationships. Thomas needs to chase Kat away, just like Rachel did to Chloe and Ava. And so much for therapy. Jennifer says some pleasantries to Marlena, then walks out with a glare at Chad. He opens up to Marlena about how much he fell for Kat and how much his family hates her. Rachel comes back down to tell them the apology went great. Marlena offers a few more words of encouragement, then takes Rachel and leaves. Good thing Brady's too distracted with Tate to care where Rachel is. Just as Maggie's about to take Holly to the airport, Tate calls and gets ignored. They share a tearful farewell, and Maggie promises she'll always have a home here. Tate tries rushing out to stop Holly, but Brady's right outside the door to let Tate in on the fact that he's not a father. Brady lays out his Tesoro theory, the DNA test, and Sophia's DNA test. It doesn't take Tate long at all to go from obsession over the baby to utter joy about Holly. Ah, the precariousness of youth. He runs over to Maggie's, browbeats her into telling him about Holly's flight, then hurries to the airport. A morose Kat gets to work just as EJ's finishing yelling the electrician down on the phone. He notices she's upset, and Kat admits Chad dumped her. EJ's sympathetic, then tries sending her off to lunch. But before she goes, Kat mentions another lunch with Gwen and uses it to ask for a tour of the new facilities. After EJ's eyes pop back into his head, he puts on his best EJ smile and offers the VIP tour. They ended at the room Gwen was trapped in, which EJ claims is an impenetrable lab that'll house controlled substances. They wrap up, and EJ heads out for lunch with Susan, while Kat gets ready to rifle through his desk. Luckily, Chad calls to distract her, because at least wait a couple minutes to be sure EJ's gone before ransacking the place. Has Rafe taught you nothing? Chad apologizes once again while Thomas watches from the hallway behind him, already learning Rachel's creeper ways. Kat just cries once they hang up, then walks out of the office having done absolutely nothing. Back at the Hortons, Thomas wanders over to talk to his dad. But when he asks if they're good now that he broke up with Kat, Thomas tells him no, he hasn't changed his mind about Grandma and Grandpa's. As long as Kat's in Salem, they aren't good. Kat sneaks back to the locked room, takes some photos of the door, then climbs in through the massive hole to an empty room. What are we expecting to find here? Marlena takes Rachel to the pub, where she finally meets with Brady, who drops the Tate bomb on her. As he gets ready to leave with Rachel, EJ walks in and tries being nice to his annoyed and angry niece. When Brady and Rachel leave, Marlena points out that EJ makes Rachel uncomfortable, even if she doesn't know why. Jennifer heads into the square to ask Tom and Alice for help by their plaque. She wants to do what's right for Thomas and Charlotte, but doesn't know what that is. Tate finds Holly after buying a ticket just to see her. Being rich has its perks. He sets the record straight about Sophia, declares his undying love, then tells her about the child that he was obsessed with, until 30 seconds ago not being his. Oh, happy day! That's enough for Holly to give in and stay in town for him. It looks like the legal battle between Ariane Zucker, former Days of Our Lives producer Albert Alar, executive producer Ken Corday and his company, Corday Productions, has come to an end. The actress, fans will almost certainly remember, filed a lawsuit against Alar for harassing and against Corday and Corday Productions for ignoring repeated complaints and refusing to negotiate on her contract in good faith, which essentially amounted to retaliation. The immediate result of the split was that Zucker left the show at the end of July 2024, as Nicole, Eric, and their baby moved to Paris. Now, of course, the Los Angeles Times is reporting that the suit has been settled, though there are no details as to what that entails. The Times went on to share that Alar's attorney, Robert Barta, said, "Our client continues to deny the allegations set forth in the complaint. However, in order to bring the litigation to the end, he has agreed to settle." This decision was made solely to end the dispute and move forward. Reps for the Corday and Corday Productions did not respond to comment to the LA Times, but when the lawsuit was filed, a show rep shared with Soaps that Corday Productions offered to renew Ms. Zucker's contract, including offering her a pay increase. Rejecting Ms. Zucker's counteroffer does not constitute retaliation. While Nicole is still very much out there and is even mentioned from time to time, especially with Holly coming so close to moving to Paris to be with her mom, there's no way to tell what, if anything, this settlement could mean for the character's future. Hopefully, though, this means moving on in a healthy way to a new, better chapter for everyone. Days of Our Lives spoilers hint that with November sweeps coming soon, fans can expect the usual Halloween drama, untangling romantic hurdles, and a delusional family function. Let's see what Days writers have in store for November. Halloween in Salem is always a bit dramatic, and this year won't be any different. Marlena Evans has been plagued by those Queen of the Night dreams for months, and a slasher is on the loose. All of the drama from Halloween will spill over into the first week in November, and should keep everyone on their toes. Kat Green will be stunned when someone pulls out a knife and tries to stab her during that Halloween party in Horton Square. Of course, we know that Kat's cover is about to be blown as well. Kat is working undercover with Rafe Hernandez, so things are about to get traumatic. Alex Kyriakis will save Kat and push her almost into Chad DiMera's arms. Unfortunately, Marlena will continue to have her nightmares and reel from them. Could this lead back to the devil coming back into the picture or not? Keep watching to see what happens. The Horton family will gather for the opening of the Tom Horton Free Clinic. This actually comes right along with the anniversary of Days of Our Lives. Several major characters are scheduled to return for the opening, including Will Horton, Eli Grant, Lonnie Price Grant, Marie Horton, Lucas Horton, and Mike Horton. Several non-Horton family members returning include Sammy Brady and Eric Brady. The gala won't be all fun and games. Fans know that EJ DiMera is obviously up to something with his lab downstairs, and this gala is all smoke and mirrors. What exactly is EJ up to with Gwen Rizchek? Spoilers suggest that Gabby Hernandez and Philip Kyriakis could be the real thing. Gabby has never loved anyone as much as she did Stefan DiMera. But can she see a future with Philip? Will Gabby and Philip realize that they are meant to be together? Or will Philip learn that Gabby was in bed with Tony DiMera in Taking Back DiMera Enterprises? Sarah Kyriakis and Xander Kyriakis have been enjoying their reunion, which may be short-lived when Sarah learns the truth about him attacking Philip. Will Sarah find herself drawing closer to Brady as things fall apart again? Keep watching to see what happens. When Blake Barris returned to Days of Our Lives in late 2023, fans immediately felt a spark of familiarity. After all, this wasn't his first time in Salem. Known for his earlier run as Nick Fallon, Barris re-entered the canvas as Everett Lynch, a mild-mannered journalist whose calm exterior masked a fractured mind and a dark alter ego named Bobby Stein. By the end of summer 2024, Everett's tangled story had fans talking, crying, and gasping, and it earned Barris a well-deserved Daytime Emmy nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actor. As often happens in Salem, Everett had a journey full of romance, secrets, and psychological unraveling. He had previously been in a relationship with Stephanie, but mysteriously disappeared. His resurgence in Salem was very unnerving to her, but she eventually became happy that he was back in her life. But that seemingly sweet reunion was anything but simple. Behind the soft smile was a buried history, and another identity entirely. It wasn't long before Jada recognized him as her ex-husband, Bobby Stein. A slow-burn psychological thriller ensued as Everett's dissociative identity disorder came to light. As Everett tried desperately to cling to his reality, Bobby managed to claw his way to the surface. He manipulated everyone and refused any mental health treatment. Everett's life eventually unraveled in a gut-punching storyline. Connie, who was desperate to cover up her own crimes, ended up poisoning Everett and making it look like a suicide. She then laid the blame of Lee's death on him, but with his final breaths, Everett whispered his love for Stephanie before dying, putting an end to Barris's layered and nuanced performance. Barris is no stranger to the Emmy spotlight. He earned his first nomination back in 2009 for his work as Nick, and has spent years building an impressive resume. A UCLA graduate who also trained at Oxford, Barris has appeared on Breaking Bad, The Mentalist, and Pretty Little Liars, and even starred in several indie projects, including Meth Head, which earned him festival awards in 2013. His return to Duel in a brand new role could have been a gamble, but Barris made Everett/Bobby unforgettable. His ability to shift between gentle and menacing, vulnerable and manipulative, gave the DID storyline real weight. This marks his first Daytime Emmy nomination in the Supporting Actor category, and it's a recognition that feels earned. Barris turned Everett into more than just a plot device. He made him one of 2024's most haunting, complex characters. Soap opera fans are eagerly awaiting the 52nd Annual Daytime Emmy Awards to see which of their favorite soaps and actors will walk away with accolades. With the event being pushed into the fall in a shift away from the previous May-June schedule, viewers have had to wait longer than usual to see the stars and teams behind the shows being honored. But the wait is nearly over. The ceremony will air Friday, October 17th at 4 p.m. PTG 7 p.m. ET on Watch. Themmys.tv Daytime. If you're a soap fan who's new to watching the Daytime Emmys and need a primer on which awards are considered the top prizes for the genre, Soap Hub has you covered. We'll also fill you in on more categories to tune into. The Daytime Emmys celebrate the achievements of adult and general audience programming, not specific to children, that typically broadcasts during the day or is streaming content that is educational/instructional, falls within lifestyle or travel, explores the arts and pop culture, is a legal courtroom program, or a daytime special. For soap watchers, the prime categories are the show, writing, and major acting nominations for daytime dramas. The rest is icing on the cake for fans, but they're very important to the talent in front and behind the camera. Here are all the nominees. The nominations below are based on the 2024 television year. Beyond the Gates was not eligible due to this window. The series, actors, and the soaps team will be eligible for consideration for the 53rd Annual Daytime Emmys. However, star Carla Mosley is set to be a presenter during the ceremony. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Tuesday, October 14th, teach us not to trust DiMeras as Tony adjusts his agreement with Gabby, and Abe learns his son has big plans for his future. Tony got Gabby to help him spy on the DiMeras by promising to take over Titan and give it to her to run. So Gabby did as he asked. And now Tony has made a deal with Philip and Xander, but it excludes Gabby. Tony is getting Dimera, but he's letting the Kiriakis clan keep Titan. Sorry, Gabby. No hard feelings. X. Right? Tony also asked Theo to join the family business. Will he keep his word about that? Theo seems to be leaning towards agreeing, much to Abe's dismay. Belle and EJ almost came to an understanding while stuck in an elevator, but then they retreated to their respective corners. Now they both have mommy issues. Belle is worried about Marlena's mental health as she deals with both John's death and Rachel's craziness. EJ's mommy, on the other hand, is urging him to be patient. Susan knows all about what the universe wants. EJ wouldn't be questioning his mother's vibes, would he? Xander and Sarah seem closer to a reunion than Belle and EJ. They seem to be on the same page when it comes to Victoria. And sex. It's just that honesty thing they're having trouble with. Xander is still lying about not beating up Philip. Will he continue sticking to his story? Or will he apologize to Sarah and confess all? And how will she react? Now that she thought they were past it, does she really want to start the whole thing all over again? On the October 13th episode of Days of Our Lives, Marlena gently prodded Rachel to see if her granddaughter had remembered anything more from the night Rachel shot EJ. Nope. Rachel is still completely clueless, and traumatized, and totes sad. At least, that's what she wants Marlena, and everyone else, to believe. Rachel was so stressed about being required to testify at Johnny's trial. After all, she is such an honest girl. She totally hasn't lied about matters ranging from her snake escaping from its terrarium to her role in Ava's kidnapping and attempted murder. She is so sweet, sensible, and guileless. She needs protection, and she should never be challenged about her behavior. At least, that's what Kristen has led Rachel to believe anyway. And woe to anyone who suggests otherwise. Rachel lied, and worse, to keep Brady not only away from Ava, but also Chloe. Is it that much of a stretch to believe that she is lying again? This time about not remembering that she's the one who shot EJ? Sure, Rachel was all teary-eyed about her mother going to jail. But here's the thing. Rachel knows that Kristen never stays in prison for long. She killed Haley and got out after less than a year. So why should this be any different? All Rachel has to do is wait for Kristen to finish serving her 5 minutes of jail time, and then she's home free. Which would be the perfect time for Rachel to ramp up the hysteria and sob to both Kristen and Brady that she can't bear to be separated from either of them, and if they don't reunite immediately, she might become even more upset. And if she gets even more upset, she might remember something. And then there will be trauma. Surely, Kristen and Brady want to protect her from ever having an uncomfortable thought or feeling. So what are they waiting for? Protect their precious angel already, or else. Days alum Ariane Zucker, who portrayed Nicole Walker for more than 2 decades, has reached a confidential settlement in her sexual harassment and retaliation lawsuit against Corday Productions and former executive producer Albert Alar. After more than a year of legal proceedings, Days of Our Lives alum Ariane Zucker has reached a settlement in her sexual harassment and discrimination lawsuit against Corday Productions and former executive producer Albert Alar, the LA Times reported. The agreement, filed Thursday in Los Angeles County Superior Court, brings closure to a high-profile case that cast a shadow over the long-running daytime drama. Court documents show that the settlement was formally filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court, ending Zucker's February 2024 lawsuit. The terms remain confidential. Alar's attorney, Robert Barta, confirmed that his client continued to deny all allegations but agreed to the settlement to move on from the dispute. Zucker's attorney has not commented publicly on the agreement. Corday Productions, which produces Days of Our Lives, has not issued a new statement since the filing. The company previously rejected Zucker's claims, maintaining that her allegations were without merit. In her complaint, Zucker alleged that Alar engaged in severe and pervasive harassment, including inappropriate touching and sexualized comments. She claimed that after she and other cast members voiced concerns about his on-set behavior, she was met with retaliation, including a salary reduction, the loss of her travel stipend, and ultimately being written off the show in mid-2023. Zucker's lawsuit accused Corday Productions and its owner, Ken Corday, of allowing the hostile environment to persist and of punishing her for speaking out. Alar's attorney denied all allegations, while the company insisted it had fully cooperated with an internal investigation and later terminated Alar. Zucker's departure marked the end of an era for Days. Her portrayal of Nicole Walker began in '98 and spanned more than 2 decades, making her one of the show's most beloved and recognizable characters. The settlement closes a difficult chapter for both the actress and the production team, but it also underscores the ongoing conversations promote respect and accountability within the daytime television industry. Here are your Days of Our Lives spoilers for Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. Now that Dimera Enterprises is back in the Dimera family's hands, Gabby thinks she will be the company's new CEO. After all, Tony promised her just that if she got him dirt on Xander and Philip. However, Gabby is in for a huge surprise when Tony tells her that he's given the position to someone else instead. It appears that Theo Carver will be taking over the business, something that does not sit well with his father. So, we have Gabby on the rampage after Tony double-crosses her, and Abe is furious because he doesn't want to see his son work with Lexi's family. Abe has spent years trying to keep Theo away from the Dimera influence, but now it looks like he has no control over the matter. Theo also has Gabby to contend with. She might seek revenge and decide to side with the Kyriakis brothers in an attempt to bring down Tony. She put everything on the line to help him and did not get what she was promised. It's never smart to do this to Gabby Hernandez. Belle can tell that something is deeply troubling Marlena, but she can't get her mother to talk about what it is. Sarah has not been able to find anything wrong with Marlena's health, but Belle's mother has certainly been off since John died in the spring. Marlena always seems lost or distracted, and Belle has no idea why. Marlena wants to confide in someone, but she swore she would keep the Rachel secret to herself. Kristen wants to shield her daughter from the truth for as long as possible. Meanwhile, EJ has his planned lunch with his mother and gets some words of advice. Susan urges her son to be patient, but patient about what? Does he lament losing Belle due to his machinations in court? Perhaps Susan will assure EJ that Belle will eventually come around. If there's one thing Days of Our Lives' Gabby Hernandez knows how to do, it's turn chaos into currency. Lately, she's been stirring up trouble as a secret spy for Tony DiMera, lured by the promise of becoming CEO of DiMera Enterprises once he reclaims the company from the Kyriakis family. But come on, this is Tony we're talking about. If anyone can sniff out a double cross before it happens, it's Gabi, though that doesn't mean she won't walk right into it first. Cherie Jimenez, who's been playing Gabi for over a year now, recently sat down to reflect on her time in Salem, those bold DiMera deals, and the fiery road still ahead. Days of Our Lives' Cherie Jimenez spoke to Soap Opera News about how much fun it's been bringing her spin to one of Days' most unapologetically fierce women. It has been an incredible journey so far, and I'm always so grateful to step on set and go on this wild ride with Gabi, she shared. She is such a layered, fierce, and beloved character. She's unapologetically herself, and I just love playing her so much. The actress admitted stepping into such an iconic role wasn't exactly stress-free at first. There were definitely nerves stepping into her shoes, as well as excitement, she confessed. Eventually, she made the Days part her own, finding the right mixture of glamour, grit, and mischief. Currently, she's had a lot of juicy stories to play with, including planting bugs in Xander's and Philip's office, bending the rules, and plotting her way to the top of DiMera Enterprises. I've learned that Gabi will stop at nothing to get what she wants, Jimenez said, adding, I'm not saying I agree with her decisions, but I respect the hustle. Jimenez laughed about her alter ego's romantic chaos, calling it a roller coaster of love. From her heartbreak over Stefan to her unexpected spark with Philip, Gabi's romantic life remains as unpredictable as her business strategy. Ultimately, Jimenez felt that her Days character simply wants what everyone else in Salem does, to fall madly, deeply in love. She explained that Gabi's on the verge of shaking up the status quo soon. There are lots of twists coming that will test her loyalties, spark some fiery confrontations, and maybe even surprise her when it comes to matters of the heart, Jimenez teased. With a renewed sense of purpose and a killer wardrobe to match, Gabi's ready to take on Salem her way. Whether she ends up running DiMera Enterprises or burning it down remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, she'll look fabulous doing it. Welcome to Days of Our Lives Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. So, a lot happened in a short 36 minutes of stream time on Days of Our Lives. We went from Tate still wondering where his baby was, and Holly saying a tearful goodbye to Maggie, to Tate learning the truth about Sophia's baby, and stopping Holly from flying off to France. All in one episode. So, is that it? You'd think there would be a little more shock and fanfare, with some actual suspense. If this were a proper soap, Tate would have been calling Holly's name out at the airport at the end, so we'd wonder if Holly would give him the time of day and forgive him. Instead, everything was solved in an instant with absolutely no suspense. What we want to see is Tate confront Sophia about all her lies. Instead, when the truth came out, Sophia wasn't even around, despite all the explaining she would soon have to do. It feels like Days just skipped over that part as fans wonder who Tesoro's father actually is. Aaron seems like the logical choice, but that's too obvious. So what gives, Sophia? Without Sophia around to offer some sort of explanation, the big not the dad reveal fell totally flat, as did Holly and Tate's airport reunion. We guess they can live happily ever after again until the next big problem comes around. Ho hum. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full duel recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not. Seriously, do not forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. Longtime Days of Our Lives star Ariane Zucker has reached a settlement agreement with Corday Productions and former executive producer Albert Aylar, according to the Los Angeles Times. The LA Times reports that Zucker and the defendants reached a settlement that was filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court on Thursday, October 9, 2025. However, no details were disclosed in the court filings. While Zucker's representatives did not comment on the lawsuit and settlement, an attorney for Aylar explained why the former producer agreed to settle. Our client continues to deny the allegations set forth in the complaint, Aylar's Robert Barta said in a statement. However, in order to bring the litigation to an end, he has agreed to settle. This decision was made solely to end the dispute and move forward. Zucker filed her 2024 lawsuit alleging sexual harassment from Aylar after news of the producer's behavior broke in the summer of 23. According to the court filings, Zucker claimed that Aylar committed severe and pervasive harassment and discrimination, including sexual harassment based upon their female gender. Zucker also sued Corday Productions, which owns the nearly 60-year-old soap, as well as Ken Corday, the show's longtime executive producer. Zucker alleged that Corday retaliated against her for speaking out against Aylar months earlier. She said that the show tried to give her a pay cut and took away her travel stipend. When she tried to renegotiate a new contract, Zucker said that the soap wouldn't negotiate with her representatives. She was subsequently written off Days of Our Lives after playing Nicole Walker off and on for 20 years. On screen, Nicole left Salem with her baby boy, Jude, and Jude's father, Eric Brady. Nicole, Eric, and Jude are said to be living in France, while Nicole's daughter, Holly, still resides in Salem. Since departing Days of Our Lives, Zucker has moved to Lake Tahoe with her daughter, Isabella, and now husband, Sean Christian. Zucker and Christian married in the summer of 2024. Zucker's ex-husband and Isabella's father, Kyle Lauder, also moved to Lake Tahoe. There's no word on whether Zucker might want to return to Days now that her lawsuit is settled, nor has there been any indication that the soap plans to recast the character. Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for Tuesday, October 14th, reveal that Theo shocks Abe Carver with some unexpected news. Meanwhile, Xander apologizes to Sarah, Belle worries about Marlena, and more. Read on for Soap Opera News' full breakdown of what's coming up. Theo Carver is making a major career shift. If his most recent return to Salem has taught us anything, it's that he's a young man who knows what he wants, and he's not afraid to go after it. What he wants right now is a solid spot at the family empire, DiMera Enterprises, and we can all probably guess how Abe's going to feel about that. Ever since Theo came back to town and got that tempting offer from Tony, the wheels have been turning. He opened up to Paulina about the idea, and in true Paulina fashion, she was fully supportive. But at the time, it was clear Theo wasn't quite ready to bring it up with Abe. Well, that time has officially come. According to the latest spoilers, Theo stuns Abe with the big news. And if we know anything about Abe Carver, it's that DiMera anything is a hard no in his book. So don't expect a proud smile and a pat on the back. This is going to stir things up. Will Theo stand his ground? Will Abe try to talk him out of it? The Carvers are definitely in for a tense family moment. Meanwhile, poor Gabby was eyeing that CEO seat at DiMera Enterprises like it was her birthright. And can you blame her? Tony promised her the role if she helped him get the company back, and she delivered. Gabby didn't just help, she outdid herself. But if there's one thing Gabby should have known by now, it's this. Trusting a DiMera never ends well. According to spoilers, Tony pulls the rug right out from under her, a classic DiMera move. And if we know anything about Gabby, she's not the type to take betrayal lightly. Elsewhere in Salem, Days of Our Lives spoilers for October 14th tease more emotional twists. Belle is worried about Marlena, while Susan offers EJ a little spiritual advice, and Xander tries to make peace with Sarah. So, what's got Belle so anxious about her mother? Is it Marlena's health, which has already been raising questions, or something more? Could Belle suspect Marlena's keeping something from her? As for Susan, her words of wisdom might actually land this time. She urges EJ to have a little patience, and let's be honest, EJ could stand to hear that more than once. And then there is Xander, who's doing something rare, apologizing. He and Sarah are finding common ground again. Here's hoping things stay that way between them. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think Theo should stay away from Dimera Enterprises? Sound off in the comments and don't miss more Duel spoilers coming soon. Days spoilers for Octa 14 reveal that Belle worries about Marlena, Susan urges EJ, Theo shocks Abe with some news, and more, the days of our lives. November sweeps 2025 throw every Salem resident into chaos. From Marlena's haunting nightmares to Gabby's dangerous new romance and EJ's dark deception, this season promises shocking returns, forbidden love, and battles that could tear families apart. Marlena Evans can't shake the horror of Halloween. Her Queen of the Night dreams have taken a darker turn, leaving her sleepless and afraid. The question haunting fans, are these visions just trauma or a sinister force returning to Salem? As Marlena struggles, Salem reels from another nightmare, a Halloween party gone wrong. Someone tries to stab Kat Green in Horton Square, forcing Alex Kyriakis to risk his life for her. His heroic act throws Kat into Chad DiMera's path, sparking tension and perhaps an unexpected spark. Marlena's visions and the attack may be more connected than anyone realizes. EJ DiMera's charm hides something dangerous this November. As the Horton family prepares to open the Dr. Tom Horton Free Clinic, EJ uses the event to mask his own dirty dealings. Behind closed doors, he and Gwen Rischek continue a secret lab project that could destroy lives. The clinic's opening, meant to celebrate the Horton legacy, quickly spirals into chaos. Will Horton, Eli Grant, Lonnie Price Grant, Lucas Horton, and even Sammy Brady return home, just in time to witness the fallout. When truths start to surface, EJ's empire could crumble, and Salem's power balance might shift forever. Gabby Hernandez has always played with fire, but this time she might get burned. Her mission to spy on Philip Kyriakis for Tony DiMera's business war starts to backfire as real feelings grow. What began as manipulation turns into something deeper and riskier. If Philip discovers that Gabby planted a bug in his office, her empire and her heart could both go up in flames, the days of our lives. November Sweeps 2025 will test whether Gabby follows her ambition or her emotions. And knowing Gabby, her decision could change Salem's business world forever. Sarah Horton and Xander Kyriakis' reunion feels too good to be true. And it is. She believes Xander's version of his attack on Philip. But truth always finds a way in Salem. Once she learns what he's hiding, their marriage may collapse for good. Heartbroken and betrayed, Sarah turns to Brady Black for comfort. Their connection, once professional, could turn into something far more dangerous.